Okay, first things first. We're going to head over here to my magic bag and grab this. Oh, wait, that. I don't see my utility knife anywhere, unfortunately. Yay, as soon as I start a video. Okay, we're back. We're back. I had to cut that out. Get that for this bad boy right here. Yeah. I don't know what it is about torque wrenches. I have a thing for them. I won't lie. This torque wrench, it's been used quite a bit. If you watch my Toyota videos, I used it there. But I always clean it up and put it back. And it even smells new still. Oh god, I love that. Now my handle's a little dirty. Either way, it's a tool. I shouldn't get too anal about that. Shouldn't get too weird, but this is what that attachment was for, because that's a 3/8 and this is a 1/2 inch. I don't believe in getting torque wrenches in 3/8 because they don't work as well, in my opinion. So anyway, we have here our Lucas assembly lube, and what we're going to do is we're going to lube up all these bearings. Now I'm not going to give you guys a close-up right now. I'm going to do the first one, then we'll come back and pick you guys up, and then we're going to do the second one together, if that's alright with you. Well, actually, you know what? We can start off by going like this. This is the assembly lube, Lucas. It's only like $6 at AutoZone. Go ahead and squeeze a nice fat line on there. A lot of people will say, oh, you want to do this thick of a line and that thick of a line. If I'm honest with you, it really doesn't matter. It's your car. And you want to spread it. Now, this is the gross part. But you want to spread it on there, and you want a nice, thick, even coat on every single one of your bearings. Now, this is important because my manufacturer's handbook, my Haynes manual, which is crap, I'll openly admit that. It said you could just put oil in here, but I didn't get my crank polished, so you know what? We're doing this way. I want my bearings to last as long as possible, because a rod knock is really just a ticking time bomb, and I'd rather not have a ticking time bomb under the hood of my car, even though it kind of is, because I didn't have the money to go splurge on the good shit. So yeah. Anyway, what you want to do is lay a nice fat line down there. I'd say about 1/8 of an inch thick. Then you want to spread it with your finger and get it to coat the whole bearing, okay? Don't worry about getting it too many places, because it can't really do any damage. You want to keep it off of your main cap mating surfaces. But aside from that, it's perfectly happy to do exactly as you ask. It's assembly lube. And this stuff smells good. It looks like freaking candy. I've never seen green assembly lube before. But then again, this is my first time assembling an engine, so I can't really say that that's really the issue here. My first time doing a bottom end. I've done top ends before. Just head gaskets, that's more common. Ironically, it's a lot more complicated too. So, when it came to tackle this, trust me, I was not too imposed. I didn't feel like, oh my god, how am I gonna do that? Okay, now I gotta fit you guys down. I don't have a choice, so no bitching. But what I'm going to do is go get my crank, come back, and set it in there. When you're filming, you really have to think about everything. I had to think about which way to grab it, so that way you guys can see. I'll be real gentle setting it down in there. You don't want to nick anything. So, wow, those bearings seem like they might be possibly too tight. Either that or I'm hitting something else. I am. Okay, so this has come out. See? Real life. Now, in case any of you are curious as to what the issue was, that was the issue. It has nothing to do with anything, but that's the issue. So, yeah. I have to flip that over. Oh, God. This is on a time limit, too, so I'll bring you guys back because I can't film and flip that over fast enough with you guys watching. I'll bring this. The offending mount is now moved out the way. Let's see if we can get you guys angled right. There we go. Now, for the christening. Out with the old, in with the new, and no hiccups this time. Now we're not going to spin that up yet. We still have all of these bearings to coat. So we're going to have to bring these over to the block. Set them somewhere where they're going to be clean. I don't really like setting it on here because that's kind of not stable. But I'm try to put them in order. Or am I? Okay, this is one. So if that's two, we're doing good. That's three. We're close. So we're gonna start off with one, and it's pretty much the same process except with the bearings. I mean, it's not rocket science, you guys. Show you guys real quick. Essentially, this is number one. All right, you guys can see it. Just tell me what we have. Oh, we only have 57 seconds. Okay, I'll bring you guys back. YouTube, we're back. I'm not sure if you guys caught that first. Okay, set recording, and then the time barely started counting. Anyway, we're back. This is number one. The number one crank bearing right here, right there, facing the front of the engine with that arrow. Okay, so it needs to go in like that. Okay, right there. There's no lube on here. So what you want to do? Is now the bearing, the bolt holes are already clean. I let this sit in CLR overnight, so it's actually really clean. I was kind of paranoid about that. I looked in there and it looked almost brand new. It's kind of creepy. To give you an idea of what I'm used to dealing with. But anyway, here's your bearing. Put your lube on there, about 1/8 inch. Line all the way across. And I got some on there. It's not that big of a deal. Just wipe it off. You want to keep any lint and dirt off of there. Keep it from messing up your tolerances. But like so, you go ahead and wipe it or spread it across with your finger. And once that part of the, sorry, there's a pretty girl walking across the street. Well, I thought she was a pretty girl, and then I saw her, and then I lost interest. Anyway, and then you just push that down. Make sure it seats all the way down. Just the main thing here. Just make sure it seats all the way down. And this one's not seating all the way down, and that's an issue. That's a big issue. So let's try the other end first. And then that's not cool. And I have no clue why it's doing that. Yay! Real life, YouTube. This is real life. This is what happens in real life. Okay, I'm starting to think my bearings might be slightly off center. So what we're gonna do, try to mitigate that instead of fighting with that all day. We're just gonna torque that down a little bit. Not really torque it down. We're gonna run it down and then put some torque behind it and see how it likes it. So instead of getting crazy with it, we're gonna try to run a bolt down this side and make it a little bit tighter. I'll bring you guys back once we find some y'all. Just in case you were wondering what was going on, this side had a gap on it, which was kind of an issue. If you look at the bearing right there, it's actually completely straight, but for some reason there is a gap, and you can see that green Lucas junk gushing out of there. It smells like candy too. That's kind of dangerous. The kid saw that and saw Lucas and it's green and it smells like candy. Kid who eats the same candy as his parents freaking might get that confused. Anyway, I'm pretty sure more of these bearings are going to go this way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lube them all up, kind of set them up, put their bolts in their respective places, and then continue on to run them down. We're not going to tighten them and torque them yet. We're going to run them down. So I'm just going to show you guys the process without stopping. Okay, again, you have your bearing, you have your lube, put a nice fat green stripe of it on there. And this might be too much for this car, honestly, or too much for these bearings. These aren't very big bearings. That's kind of a lot of lube. But I mean, the more the merrier, right? So she said. Actually, me personally, ladies, I'm not that type of guy. I like natural women. So, yeah, if you're one of those girls, feel free to send me a PM. But it's literally like that. You just put the lube on there and set it in place. And you can actually do that with every single, wow, holy shit, I did that. That just happened. I totally put that in the wrong spot. So, I'm gonna lube this one again, because I put that where 3 goes. Running my mouth, talking to the women. See, women are just bad news. Even when they're not around, they cause problems. Especially those gorgeous blondes, they always cause me problems. I don't know what it is. It's not like I go looking for them, so they come looking for me. Oh, you're Dan, I heard so much about you. Yeah? There we go. There we go. So, we're gonna just keep going. We got 2.5 minutes. So, this is number 5, so we can put that back. This is number 3. As you can see again, 3, arrow. Can you guys see that? I can't see it. But trust me, it's 3. We're going to lube this bad boy up. Try to avoid getting it on the bearing making surfaces. You don't want any seeping behind the bearing, spinning it. I heard that over lubing these can be bad, but you know what? This car needs every bit of help it can get. This engine, this whole setup, because there's a lot wrong with it, so we're not gonna get too fickle with this right now. Almost sounded like I was gonna start cussing, huh? Cursing. That's 5, which means this should be 4. These are actually pretty clean, right out the box. The guy sent them to me. I paid 120 bucks for the block and the main caps and the bolts, so sent them to me pretty quick too. His name is Adrian on FEOA. He has a ton of stuff for sale too. If you have an Escort like mine and you need work, I'm probably gonna end up getting a couple of cylinder heads from him because I cracked mine, which has kind of got me depressed again. Stop thinking about sad stuff. But number 4 faces this way. Set it down. Be careful not to nick the crank. Once you get in the mood or the motions of this going, you kind of figure this shit out. Like I said, it's not rocket science. I don't want to make it sound like it's super complicated and scare people off who might want to work on it on their own car. This is the last one. It smells good. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells like freaking, almost like mentholated Jolly Rancher or something. It's got a weird smell to it. And there's number 5. Now, for the other part of this, we have to do these. Okay, I did the first one by myself to kind of mitigate that issue that I was having there. So I gotta show you guys what's going on with this one. And some people will tell you that, oh, make sure you put the... Alright, y'all. Now, I did most of them. As you can tell, I cheated on you guys. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna show you guys how to do these last 2. Now, these last 2, what you pretty much want to do is inspect the threads, make sure they're pretty clean. These are all clean. The guy that sold these to me did a bang-up job on these. Adrian, good job. He's on FEOA.net, Ford Escort Owners Association.net. I'll put a link in the description, but he sold me these. Sold me the whole set. Anyway, I just get a little bit of oil on my fingers. Usually I use 2 fingers. That's all you need to make her happy. That's what she said. Anyway, I like to fill up the threads with oil. Not completely full, but like on the side that I'm applying oil to, I like to get it full of oil. And the oil is very viscous, so again, I only need 2 fingers for this. Then you want to oil the flat faces that make contact to your main caps, like so, like that, because you don't want any resistance on torquing these. And then lastly, I actually oil the top of the main cap with just the leftover oil. It's not like it's a lot of oil. Leftover oil from there. This one's been done. All I gotta do is get the face of this one. And I literally did these 2 with just dipping my fingers in there twice. Actually, this from the first all the way to this last one. dipping my fingers in there twice because oil's real thick. You know, you don't need a lot. So I mean, it works. Be ready to clean off your hands. Don't worry about washing them. I actually roll my cigarettes, so I have to wash my hands a lot more than most people who smoke anyway. If you don't smoke, don't start. It's a curse. Don't tell me it's expensive, that's not why. You can't run. And running's one of the funnest things to do in the world. I think everybody takes that for granted. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start running these down. All I'm doing is getting these not completely tight, but I'm just putting them down. I'm not putting any real torque on them. If anything, it's like 10 pounds of torque, if anything, okay? So, none of you pros out there flip out on me, please. Sorry, I had to clean the shaft. It was a little bit too slimy, if you know what I mean. Haven't we all been there before? I don't know what's going on with me and dirty jokes today. Like Aaron Cake now. That guy's full of dirty jokes. He's Canadian too. Didn't know Canadians were that perverted. That was only Americans. Well, actually French people too, because French guys are, woo, those dudes, wow. And then there are accent gives in the past with women, especially American women. American women fall for that crap real easy. Just walk around, talk with a French accent, David Loiseau status. Only cool people know who that guy is. Run them down. I'm not torquing these at all. I'm just making sure that they're well seated on there. So when it does come time to torque, I know where I'm at. Start these by hand, by the way. See, started by hand. Started by hand. Now if I had a air ratchet, this would be the time I'd be using it. Now, after this comes the fun part, which is torquing it down. I love torquing things down. Don't know why. Makes me feel like a real mechanic. A real mechanic. Yeah. There we go. Now, run these down with your fingers. Oh, the song ended. I love playing music when I work on things because I just go on autopilot. If I wasn't filming right now, I'd just be working quietly. My zen. Some people cook. I like to really bond with the car. Especially my car. Or a car I'm getting paid for working in. It doesn't always happen though. I know somebody on my Facebook who could attest to that. Given the circumstances were dire, so I can't really complain. Anyway, I'm rambling. I should just play some music if you guys listen to it. Now I'm just checking these again. These aren't being torqued. They have absolutely no torque on them at all. If anything, maybe 10 pounds. I'm doing my little human torque wrench technique right now. Oh wow, I don't like what it felt weird. Oh wow. This is why I go back and check. Make sure they're all squared up. It's almost dinner time, y'all. You guys are cutting into my food. Can't you tell how skinny I am? I need every calorie I can get. Or just for purposes. Sorry, the ADD's kicking in. Alright, so that's pretty much generally the assembly. We're gonna come back after a quick break, quick cigarette break. Probably gonna eat real quick, and then we're gonna torque all these down. Again, this is Nazarack. This is my 1988 Escort GT engine rebuild. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'm not sure if it's gonna be part of a video or a completely separate video by itself. This might be a video by itself, and torquing will be a video by itself too, I think. I don't know. Usually I get lazy and just put it all in one giant video. But we'll see. Give you guys a close up of how it looks. And those crank bearings just kind of spoil everything. But she's finally coming back together. So if you followed me this whole time, you should be kind of excited. I know I am. Anyway, feel free to like and subscribe.